for our next Song and Pony show, we're going to talk about presentation techniques. Yeah, how about here? Well, then you move to the front. All right. So a lot of the, and Kathleen, you can move up too. A lot of the work that you all have just done was pretty much presentation quality work. You know, Julie just dropped the term construction documents, which are these, and I don't know if I brought a set or not, these big rolls of drawings. They're all in black and white. We make lots of copies of them. Therefore, they're in black and white because it's expensive. And I'm sorry. Wait, lost my train here. So you have to be able to have one set that you use as your sales pitch when you go to show your drawings to the client the first time around. So this is called like your presentation set. And oftentimes you're doing this like on an easel, maybe on a ledge, but it is, you know, you got to jazz it up a little bit. So how do you do that? You know, how do you make it look professional? And there are lots of like little tricks so that it's not a sloppy mess, even though you may have a great idea, it has to be organized. So I've been sort of teaching students how to do this forever, and I brought some good examples and some bad of what was hanging around in my office. And there are probably some others here, and I know there's some out in the hall. But the point being that it has to be neat, clean, and organized, right? So there are lots of little details to this that sort of demand that you not wait till the last minute, because it's sometimes more time consuming than you would imagine. So for instance, when we were just starting to do the drafting, we talked about putting borders on things. So if you're taking your plans that you did, let's say take the plans that you did that we just took off the board here, and you wanted to mount them on a piece of foam core, okay? So like first thing, where do I get the foam core? Same place. Do I get black? Well, yes, usually, because it's pretty professional. White doesn't really frame out your drawings, and pretty much everything we do is black and white. You don't have to get black, but you can. For different, and I do have a handout that goes with this, but I don't know if it will be in any order here. If you just pass it, okay, so you're going to present to a client. You never know if there are going to be easels. You never know how many people are going to be in the room. Sometimes if it's a, you know, you're presenting to a committee, maybe it's the board of the condo association, which you never want to have to present to, but you might. So again, you want to make it look as good as possible. Okay, so one thing that we talk about a lot on your drawings are hierarchy of labels, okay? Clients like to see their labels, their names in large print. So typically you would have the client's name fairly large, even if it's Mr. and Mrs. Robinson residence, you know, because they're going to keep it and they're going to show their friends and then they're going to brag that they have a landscape designer or whatever. Okay, now these are digital, so they've done a lot of this on the computer. They've selected their outdoor materials and they've got a patio or something going on in here. But the things that make this a really easy to read presentation are that their labels are large enough. They could have used a few more labels under things like elevations, but pretty much if the client got this, they would be able to remember what everything was. It's pretty nicely balanced. They've got, you know, they've got continuous lines in a lot of places. So when you start putting things on boards, and you'll do some boards that maybe have all your plant selections, or maybe you're showing all different materials that you want to show the client as options for the patio, and you might have photographs of these, or you have actual samples. They get a little bit heavy, but you can pretty much glue anything on a board like this if you have the right adhesive. And I don't know if I gave you the adhesives on here, but double stick foam tape will hold almost anything. You know, that thick stuff that comes in a roll or it comes in squares, used to put it on the posters like a dorm, whatever. That'll hold pretty much anything too. It'll hold a piece of tile, it'll hold a sample of a brick. If you want to put actual samples instead of just photographs of the samples. And lots of people like to touch and feel. So again, this is one of those things where you have to think about, okay, who am I taking this presentation to? And do they have any kind of vision, or do I have to lay everything out like they can't imagine everything? So, you get to know your clients a little bit, and then you realize what they need to, for you to make the sale. So if you're gonna have more than one board, they should be the same size, they should read in the same direction. Sometimes, you see students put together a series of boards, and we don't have students in this program mount too many things. We do mount a few, just because you have to, get in practice of doing it. Oftentimes it's, photographs of plants, or maybe different types of railings that you were gonna use, on a handrail or something like that. So you cut them out so they're the same size. You always cut them out with a metal straight edge and a razor blade, never with a scissor, because it's like impossible to cut a straight line with a scissor no matter how good you think you are. Because, you can pretty clearly see that this was cut nicely, and then she scanned it or however she did it. This one, on the other hand, this is not a great example of a board. I thought I'd bring one that wasn't great, because this is a balanced harmony, which is too small, and this is a piano keyboard, but you can't even see the white keys. She doesn't have a very good border set up on here. The whole thing is just, it's a balanced harmony, but it's not balanced. So she didn't, I think it was a girl, I mean, remember who did this? Yep. She didn't do a very good job of, luckily she graduated already, of putting this board together. A lot of you probably have great computer skills. So the difference between, for instance, these two boards, and you're welcome to do this any way that you're capable of doing it. Let's say these were pictures of plants instead of pictures of foreign places. This was a design a hotel, something or other project. So clearly this person scanned everything in, and they were able to, put the title in the middle, and, they have a nice border all the way around. And this is the way I used to do it, cut and paste, but it doesn't look professional. You can cut and paste in glue and have it look as good as this one. So, just laying out your materials when you're getting ready to put these together, and figuring out what's the best way to lay them out before you glue them down. Don't ever, okay, I'm gonna start here, and then, now I have a 4-inch border on this side and a 1-inch border on this side. So give yourself plenty of time to rearrange the things that you're gonna have on there. Because often it'll be a combination of things. There'll be a plan, there'll be some titles, and these you can actually print out on the computer, or you can print them on the computer and then put a piece of trace over them and make it look like you did them by hand, even though most people would know you didn't, but it doesn't matter. Let's see what else. Questions. Ask me some questions about these, and I'll see what I missed in my little discussion here.
So we can use the computer and put this together?
Yes, when you are doing, if you know how to scan, and you could scan the drawings that you had printed up earlier, and you wanted to scan in a title, it's perfectly fine to do that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's, it gets to a point where it's whatever you can do to make it look good is okay. I mean, you're not gonna cheat and have somebody else do your work, but, once you've done the drawing in terms of the labeling, be careful when you're making copies of things, that if you're making them a little bigger or a little smaller to fit on your board, that you haven't screwed up the scale. That's one reason why, always having a graphic scale on something is really important, because even if you push copy, sometimes it does make it a little bigger or a little smaller. So do be careful about that.
I have a question for you, Nancy.
Yeah.
Can you discuss why the collage on the left doesn't measure up to the one on the right? I'm not sure that it's clear to
From a
everybody.
distance? Okay. When you're looking at a combination of things that are together on a surface or a board or whatever, there has to be a couple different ways that your eye can follow a straight line. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you won't like it because it's confusing. So she's got some nice long continuous lines on this one. She's got one going here. There's a nice long one here. This one is so chopped up everywhere that, and then she's got space on this that, I mean, if she had cut this down and centered this, maybe this would, if she had fixed this, I would have been a lot happier. It's just shoved in the wrong place. She's got all these weird spots. There's no border, and, I mean, on any of these, even that one, there needs to be a little bit of a border. It's just about ease of your eye to look at something that gives you then the ability to analyze it, so. Sometimes you find a perfect color board, so let's say, like one of your, drawings that you did earlier, that there's some really fabulous green in there, and you think, that drawing would look so fabulous if I mounted it on a green board. And you know, if you go to a framer, an art supply framer place, not Staples and Kinko's, but a real framer, let's say you were doing 7 or 8 of these, and they take a long time, so be sure that you leave yourself time, but they never have 7 or 8 matching boards at Staples or Plaza or Kinko's. So if you ever need a lot of boards, you go to the art supply store and they'll order them for you. They place an order for mats every day, every other day. But they're a little bit flimsy, they're not even as heavy as this. So that means, let's say you're traveling abroad, you're going to Amsterdam to present your garden. Say Claire just got back. You might want to take and put it on a green, beautiful green mat. Maybe it's even a green silky mat that looks just really fabulous. And then take that mat and put that on foam core. Because then when they're tossing it around in the back of the plane, it's not going to get all damaged and fall apart. Plus it's not going to bend. Once you start putting things on some of those boards, and this one's probably bending too, the glue and everything will start to warp. So, gather your supplies. Call me anytime you're putting one of these together if you want some hints. And, just kind of plan this. Sort of do a dummy version on tracing paper and say, okay, well, I'm going to put all my photographs of flowers across the bottom. And I'm going to put the plan in the middle, and I'm going to put the title over here. Titles pretty much typically read left to right, and most people put them in the corner. You can put them in the middle, but it's never as attractive as when you put them in the corner. I'm not quite sure why. Even lining up the end of a letter with the end of whatever the image is helps too. So, she could have scooted these over there a little bit or something, might have helped that too. Does that help, Adele?
Oh, that's the class.
I had some others that I brought in last semester, and I'm in my office a little, I must have tossed them, but, one other thing that I know I showed last time was, a drawing like this, sometimes instead of going heavy-duty color, like some of you were like colored every inch, some people just put a little bit of color in corners. So they might just put a little bit of brown in the corner here, a little bit of brown over here, and maybe just color parts of the chairs. So kind of play with that. You can always put more color, but you can't take it off. And I'll see if I can find a couple of those to bring in next time. It just had a little bit of color. And actually they were even marker. Julie loved them, I tossed them. But do try different things. And, it's one of those deals. Try a little bit and then see what happens. Questions?
Yes. So this assignment that we have, we're supposed to use the drawings that we did for this week and paste those on some type of phone?
No. This is just how to do a presentation board. You don't even have to do one for next time. No. This was, I'm just telling you about it for now. It's for your final.
Oh, for the final.
We need to chat.
What?
Can we chat?
Oh, we need to chat?
Because